What is up, everybody? It is Drake again with another video on the ATM industry and how to get your money working for you through passive income. Stay tuned, find out how it's done. I'm in front of my doorstep right now waiting on SPU, the delivery company. Maybe you've heard of them. They seem to always be late. I need SPU to come through today. We're waiting on a router right now so we can go install that in one of our locations. We had to rob Peter to pay Paul, unfortunately. With our new location, I wanted that thing up and running right away. I unfortunately did not have a router to stick in it at that moment. So I went to our lowest producing ATM, took out the router from there for a couple days and installed that in the new location. So far it's working pretty good. I just need this router to get delivered so I can go install that and start making the passive income. So while we're waiting on this package, I just wanted to show you guys quickly what we're gonna have to do to install it properly. It should be pretty easy. All it is connecting the Ethernet jack into the modem and then hooking up a power supply, sticking it in the bottom of the ATM, testing it, and then that should be it. I do always bring a little kit with me just in case something does happen. I try and always be prepared for most situations. That way I'm not running around town trying to find parts and whatnot. I have it already set up in my car. Hopefully SPU will drop off this package soon so I can take you along and show you how it's installed.
2 hours later.
Alright, so I'm a little tired of waiting for SPU to show up with this package. So I'm just gonna go get my hair cut. I'll talk to you guys here in a little bit. So I just got trimmed up really quick. One thing that I did notice is the place always requests cash. So do they need an ATM? No, not really. I did my research already. There's a gas station a couple doors away, and there's also a donut shop in the same little shopping plaza, which already has an ATM. So my salon would not utilize it. Just because a place can use an ATM doesn't mean it's worth putting it in. Alright, so I'm back headed home, waiting on SPU. Gotta get that package. Alright guys, so we finally got the package, showed up. Now we're gonna go install it and probably grab some lunch.
I'm hungry.
Always, but I'm hungry too. Let's go. So here we are, we just got to the laundromat that needed the router installed. I'm sure you guys noticed we did enter through the back door. We definitely try and avoid going through the front door if we can. As an ATM operator, we do carry cash from time to time, and we want to keep a low profile as much as possible. When we did get in the laundromat, I let the employee know that we were there to fix the ATM. It had been out of service for a couple days due to the router missing. So I just want to let her know that we're going to be fixing it and it'll be up and running. She did mention that there was some requests that morning about it, so she seemed pretty excited that we were there to fix it. Here I am just opening up the box, taking a look at the contents. We have the router, a couple antennas, a power supply, and a spare Ethernet cable, probably only a foot long though, so it's a little useless, but I'm putting the antennas together now. Most of the locations that we have only came with one antenna. This setup did come with two, so I seem to be a little excited about it. You can see in the background there's a little tattoo machine, coin operated tattoo machine. This location also has quite a few vending machines in there, as well as video games. It's pretty popular during the evening time and the weekends with the kids. Definitely gets them a little preoccupied. Lets the parents do the laundry. As you can see here, this is the inside of the safe, obviously where the cash is held. I do see a problem though. The inside of it looks a little messy. I do try and zip tie all the cables together, but I had to quickly cut the cables when I was moving this router to the new location. So probably the next time I fill up this ATM, I'll bring some zip ties with me and clean it up a little bit inside. As you can see here, I am just straightening out the antenna cables. The last thing I want is to have kinks in the line causing connection issues and whatnot. The antennas, as you can see them shaking on top of the ATM, they are a magnetic connection on there, so you just stick them up on top of the ATM and they should stay there for a little while at least. As you can see here, I am putting in the power supply connection. It came with a US adapter for the US outlets. Something new I don't really see too often with many devices at all. Like I mentioned before, it should be a pretty easy process just connecting the antennas, the power supply, and the Ethernet cable. Here I am plugging in the power supply into a extension cord that we have. Power sometimes can be an issue to get to the ATMs. Having a longer type extension cord really does make your life a little easier. As you see here, I have the Ethernet jack plugged in, the power supply, and the next is the antennas. There's a main antenna line and then an auxiliary antenna line, both of which should be connected just for extra connectivity. There are a couple cutouts in the ATM which allows us to run wires and whatnot. That's what I was just doing there. I was running the antenna wires into the bottom of the ATM. That way we can reach the cords and it's a lot more of a cleaner look on the outside of the ATM. It looks like it's good to go, so I'm going to start programming the machine, making sure that it works properly. Unfortunately, there does seem to be an error and I have a confused look on my face. One thing to keep in mind when working on the ATMs, sometimes the safe door does have to be open in order to properly do something on the ATM. So I'm just trying to troubleshoot it right now, trying to figure out the connection issue, trying to see if I need to have the safe door open, trying to type in the different codes that I have, things like that. Trial and error, keep trying to make it work. There is a ton of options in the ATM that we can do, things that I still haven't learned yet. Of course, this is a learning process, but the screen that's showing now is just showing me that there is an issue. I am just going through the different options right now and trying to troubleshoot the connection issue. Obviously, we need connection in order to process transactions. So before I leave, I have to make sure this is perfect. As you can see, I'm definitely scrolling through some options here in the main menu. What I'm trying to do is disable the connection and then re-enable it, which does help out with the IP address. Obviously, you have to have an IP address to properly run the internet, so that's what I'm doing right now. So it's loading, and out of service while connecting to the internet. Since that did not do the trick, I'm going to go through and look at the connections that I made, see if there was any errors, which I did notice one. When I was taking a look at the Ethernet cable, I had it hooked up to the local area network as opposed to the wide area network, which could be the issue. So right now I'm unplugging it and plugging in properly. Hopefully that will fix the problem. After we have the Ethernet cable reconnected, I'm going to go through and test it again, see if that fixed the problem. It looks like it did not. Since switching up the Ethernet cable did not work, the next idea is maybe the antennas. The antennas have to be completely screwed into the base, the magnetic bases that are on top of the ATM, as well as screwed in entirely into the router. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to unplug them and plug them back in. After making connection changes on the router, I definitely recommend unplugging and plugging back in the router. This resets everything on the computer, and hopefully it'll give me a better connection. Or at least that's what I like to think. After making those changes to the router, I had to wait a couple minutes for everything to light up green on the router, and it gave me an A-OK that it's good to go. As you can see here, I am always checking and double checking the door locks just to make sure that they are securely fastened. The last thing I want is somebody to have access to the ATM, even if it isn't inside the safe. I don't want people to have access to the configurations of the ATM either. So I always double check to make sure that they're always locked. All right, everybody, so it was a success. I got the router installed in there. It definitely had an issue, but we were able to fix it. A simple turn it off and turn it on is what the doctor ordered. Now it's lunchtime. Where are we going to lunch?
Good, something good, something good.
Something delish. Talk to you guys on the next video. Later.